Do you expect Eurobonds to be implemented to fight the damages of the corona crisis? If you'd like to get an answer from a German perspective, that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm Mark, greetings from Germany and welcome to my channel. Eurobonds have recently often been used as an argument why it is even better now to leave the EU. With implementing Eurobonds, the Euro countries would jointly take up debts on the capital market, divide the funds raised among themselves, and jointly be responsible for the repayment and interest of these debts. Financially strong countries would then have to pay higher interest rates than they do now. However, if countries became insolvent, the rest would have to pay their payments and interest rates. That obviously sounds tempting for Italy and Spain, because they are already hopelessly overdebted. And obviously they would much more prefer these common bonds to simple loans through the ESM, the European Stability Mechanism. But that would just be a free ticket for those countries who have not had their finances under control for years and have not yet carried out political and economic reforms. Eurobonds could give them the means to continue to save, to refurbish their budgets and not to reform the labor market, welfare system and the tax system. Fortunately, Article 125 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union states that each country bears and is responsible for the debts it has incurred. Germany even made the so-called no bailout clause in 1993 a prerequisite for joining the monetary system, for joining the euro. And as you might remember from another video, we do have a constitutional court. And what would this constitutional court say? The constitutional court would say to Eurobonds, the parliaments, and especially our federal parliament, the Bundestag, decide on taxpayers' money and nobody else. And that is written down in the Grundgesetz, the German written constitution. Another aspect is, if our government would get involved in Eurobonds, it would be a steep step for the AfD, the German right-wing extremists. And, comparable to the Brexit campaign, it would create a mood in Germany against the EU, and then the AfD would definitely try to incite the people against the EU. In addition, Eurobonds would be quite expensive for the German taxpayer, even without the liability, without the situation that we have to pay for the others. And we are always indeed talking about taxpayers' money here. But it would be more expensive because we would have to pay higher interest rates for both new loans, which we haven't taken in ages, but because of the corona crisis we would definitely have to take some new loans. And of course for the old debts, because the interest rates are getting higher if we join a Eurobond. The old debts sum up to more than 1 trillion euros for the federal government alone. And as you know, we're a federal country with 16 states and they all have budgets themselves. With loans, of course, and they would get more expensive. And 1 percentage point in higher interest rates would correspond to a double-digit billion amount every year. In the end, the Germans could at least partially give in and at least get involved in reconstruction funds. That means limited joint borrowing now in this corona crisis where Europe really has to stay together, and there are countries hit much harder than others, and then that will be okay. After all, even German economists are now advocating this. But for Eurobonds you will only get one answer from the German government if any other member would bring that to the council, and that's a veto. And if you're interested why Germany already has active Brexit laws, although we are still in the transition period, I put this video in the end screen. Click and enjoy. I'll see you there. Viel Spaß!